In business, it's important to keep improving, meet goals, and stay competitive. One useful method to do this is called gap analysis. This helps us see the difference between where we are now and where we want to be. By identifying these gaps, we can create clear plans to bridge them and reach our targets. The diagram here is a simple example of how to use gap analysis. You start by stating your current situation, then list your future goals, and note any gaps between them. If a gap exists, you describe it so you can figure out the best way to close it and move forward. This process helps businesses focus their efforts and improve effectively. To effectively close the gap identified in a gap analysis, it's important to pair this tool with others that clarify why the gap exists and how to address it. One common pairing is with SWOT analysis, which breaks down the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that explain the causes behind the gap. For example, if your market share is below target, SWOT might reveal that strong competitors and low brand awareness are major reasons. This combination is particularly useful for strategy planning, business transformation, and competitive positioning. Another complementary tool is PESTLE analysis, which focuses on external factors like political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental forces that may be creating or worsening the gap. Using these tools together helps create a more comprehensive action plan to move from the current state to the desired future state by addressing both internal weaknesses and external pressures. Gap analysis often incorporates the PESTLE framework, which looks at political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors that can influence the gap. This approach is especially useful for market entry, addressing regulatory challenges, and planning long-term strategies. For example, a gap like slow digital adoption may be driven by technological changes and regulatory pressures highlighted in a PESTLE analysis. The practical benefits of gap analysis include gaining strategic clarity by understanding where the business currently stands versus where it wants to be, better resource allocation by identifying where investments are needed, improving performance by targeting specific weaknesses, and managing risks by spotting potential operational or financial issues early. In essence, gap analysis acts as a roadmap for continuous improvement and transformation. To carry out a gap analysis effectively, start by clearly defining your objectives, then gather data on the current state of performance and resources. Identify where gaps exist by comparing the current state to your goals. Analyze the root causes, such as missing skills or technology, then develop an action plan with assigned responsibilities and timelines. Lastly, monitor progress regularly and make adjustments as necessary to ensure the gaps are closed effectively. If you want a deeper understanding of the underlying factors, we recommend watching the PESTLE video available in this channel. In real life, gap analysis helps different industries identify where they need improvement. For example, a retailer wanting to boost online sales might find gaps in their digital marketing and then invest in e-commerce platforms and training to close those gaps. In manufacturing, a factory aiming for ISO certification could discover weaknesses in quality control and respond by implementing new standards. In financial services, a bank seeking to improve customer experience may find their mobile app lacking and decide to upgrade its technology. The advantages of gap analysis include giving a clear direction by providing a structured approach to goals, improving efficiency by focusing on crucial areas, enhancing decision-making through data-driven insights, and being versatile enough to apply across various industries and functions. However, it does have some downsides. It can be time-consuming, requiring detailed data collection and analysis, and the definition of the desired state may be subjective, influenced by biases. Closing gaps may require significant resources, and the analysis itself is only a snapshot that needs to be updated regularly. Overall, gap analysis is a valuable strategic tool that helps organizations spot performance shortfalls, prioritize actions, allocate resources wisely, and work toward long-term success. Although it demands effort and ongoing attention, the clarity and focus it brings make it an essential part of any strategic planning process.